Hello everyone. Welcome back to Tech Mastery with Raj. In our previous video, we understood what Linux is, why Linux is important for DevOps engineers, where Linux is used in the real world systems. Now today, we are going to take the next big step. We are starting hands-on Linux learning. And today's topic is extremely important because in Linux roadmap series, we will be learning Linux file systems, permissions, users, groups, basic commands, process management, networking, shell scripting. So today we will be working or we will be learning Linux file management for the DevOps. Because in real DevOps work, on a regular basis, you will have to work on creating and managing files in Linux. You will work with configuration files. You will have to handle log files. You will have to move deployment artifacts, and you will have to also clean up systems. So file management is not optional for the DevOps engineers. It is the core DevOps skill. So before we start commands, we must understand one fundamental concept, and that is directory. So today we will understand what directory is in Linux. Okay, what are the directories? What are the important directories? So directory is a simple folder in Linux used to organize files. Okay, so before that, let me make it very clear. In Linux, everything is file. Even the directory is a file. So directory is simply a folder in Linux used to organize files. Just like Windows has documents, downloads, desktops, Linux also uses directories, but in more powerful and structured way. In Linux, everything starts from slash directory. Okay, this is the directory. This is root. This is called the root directory. Unlike Windows, no C drive or no D drive. Everything starts from the root directory slash. Linux follows a tree structure. Okay. So now let's understand the key differences. Let's understand the key directories you will use in real DevOps environment on a regular basis. Okay. So the first important directory in the Linux is home directory. Okay. Let me make this font little small. Okay. So first directory is home directory. What is home directory? This is the personal space for the users. All the users will be in this directory. Okay. So personal space for users. For example, suppose Raj is one user. So he will have his own directory, Raj, inside the home directory. And in Raj directory, he can use it for writing the scripts or writing his project files or any personal files. Similarly, if there is another user registered on the Linux, suppose Dave, so he will be here. Or suppose Anthony, so he will be in the home directory. Right? So every user will be in the home directory, and that user will use this directory for writing his scripts, project files, okay, personal files. So this is first directory. Second directory is the etc directory. Now this directory is very important. Why? Because this directory contains configuration files. So for example, DevOps, they can have Jenkins configuration, or they can have SSH config. What else? For example, they can have system configs. Then application configs. So this is why this etc directory is very important for the DevOps engineer, because all the configuration files will be in the etc directory. Now the next directory is var directory. What is the use of this var directory? This var directory is to store the variable data. This directory includes logs, runtime data, or error logs, application logs basically. Application data. Now the next directory is var, and inside var there is a log directory. Okay, so let's understand what is log directory. This is most important for the DevOps. Why? Because this stores all sort of logs, system logs, then application, or even error logs. So in real work, DevOps work, if something breaks, where you will check? You will check the /var/logs. You will get the error here. So this directory is very important for the DevOps. Next directory is the bin directory. Okay, this directory contains all the essential commands. For example, ls command or cp command. There are many commands in Linux. So mv command or cat command. So all these commands will be in the bin directory. Next important directory is the usr directory. What is the use of this directory? This directory stores the installed software and tools. This is the usr directory. Next directory is opt directory. What is the use of this directory? This directory is used for the third-party software installations. And the last but very important directory is root directory. This is the home directory of root user. For example, admin. Okay, so you understood the directories. We will just go through these directories again. This is the first directory, home directory. In the home directory, this is the user directory, personal space for the users. Okay, all users will be in this home directory, so they can use this for the, what will be use of this? Okay, they will use for writing scripts or their project work or their personal file, whatever they want to do, they will do it in their own directory. Okay, next directory is the /etc directory. This is very important directory because it contains all the configuration files, and DevOps need this directory because all the DevOps related configurations like Jenkins config, SSH config, system configs, application config, that will be in the etc directory. Next directory is the var directory. It stores the variable data. Okay, it includes logs, runtime data, application data. Next directory is inside the var directory only, that is var log. In this directory, it will have system logs, application logs, error logs. Since this directory contains all sort of logs, this directory is very important from the DevOps perspective, because DevOps users, they will have to keep on troubleshooting, investigating. So to investigate, they will need to check these logs. So that they have to go into the /var/log directory and check the log. So this directory is very important for the DevOps. Next directory is the bin directory. This directory contains all the essential Linux commands. There are thousands of commands. We will do the hands-on practice of most of the commands which are important for the DevOps. So all these commands will be in the bin directory. Next directory is the /usr directory. In this directory, it stores installed software and tools. Next directory is the /opt. This is for the use for third-party software installation. And the last, which is very important, and this is the main directory, that is root directory. This is the home directory of the root user admin. Okay, so we understood the Linux directory structure. So Linux is a tree. Okay, root is the base directory. Okay, then everything branches from the root directory. So DevOps, from the DevOps perspective, remember /etc directory is for the config, /var/log is for the logs, /home is for the user data, and /bin is for the command. Okay, now you understood the directory structure. Now that we understand the structure, how directories are there, let's move to the hands-on lab. Okay, so first we will check the file systems. Okay, basics. Okay, so for that, what we need to do, we need to go to the Linux. So what I have done, I don't have any Linux server. So what I have my AWS account. From the AWS, I have launched EC2 instance, and I have EC2 instance is the Linux type. Okay, this is the EC2 instance. I have opened it and I have connected to EC2 instance. Okay, so in the EC2 instance, we will, okay, so we will practice our hands-on commands. Okay, so first command, which is very important, to check our current location. So when you log in, you need to check where you are. So for that, you need to use the command pwd. Let me increase the font size a little bit. Yeah, it looks better. So first directory is pwd. First command is pwd. It is to check the current location. Now when you run this command, you see you are in the /home/ec2 user. So we have discussed about the directories, right? In the directories, we saw all the users will have /home and then username. Similarly, we have /home ec2 user. ec2 user is my user name. So I am currently in the my user directory, that is ec2 user. Okay, this is the pwd command. Pwd is to check the present working directory. Now we need to see, we are in the ec2 user directory. What do we have in this directory? So let's check what do we have. So how to check how many files or directories inside this directory we have? So for that, we have ls command. Okay, ls. Okay, so you see in the directory, it is showing whatever you have in the directory, it is showing here. Okay, using the ls. So in the ec2 directory, we have this techmaster2.txt file, then techmastery.txt, then test.txt, test1.txt. These many files we have. Now you want to see these files in detail. So for that, what you need to use? You need to use same command with the /l. So it will show in the structured way. Okay, what it is showing? This first, initially it is showing the type, then authority. We will explain this in the next video. Okay, so at the moment, ignore these things. Okay, and just concentrate on the file names. We have this one file, second file, third file, and fourth file. These four files we have in the ec2 user directory. This is the file creation time, then directory name, owner name, and then authority. We will explain it in the next video. Okay, now sometimes there can be some hidden files. If you want to see if there is any hidden file in this directory, what is the command? Use same ls command with the -a parameter, and it will show the hidden files. Now here you can see .ssh was the hidden file. It was not shown in our previous output, but now it is showing, right? So -a is to find the hidden files. So hidden files often contain configuration and security settings. Okay. Now we will see if we want to create one directory. Now currently we are, let me clear it. Okay. So we are in /home/ec2 user directory. Now what we want to do, we want to create one directory. So to create a directory, what command is required? You need to run mkdir, make directory is the command. Okay. And now suppose we run DevOps project. So you need to give the command name first, mkdir, and then you need to give the directory name which you want to create. So mkdir and then enter. So now mkdir is created. Now you can verify it whether this is created or not. How to verify? Run ls command again, ls l -l. Now it will show this DevOps project is created. Okay, so our directory is created. Now how to check whether this is directory or file? Because these files are there. This is this is directory, because in the beginning it is showing D here. So this D starts D for the directory, and if it is file, it will be dash. So D for directory. Okay, so that's how we can see the type of the file or the directory. Okay, so this is the command to create the directory. Now you have created the directory, but you are still in the EC2 home, EC2-user directory. Now you want to go to the newly created directory. How would you go to newly created directory? For that you need to run the command cd. Cd is change directory. So run this command and cd, and then give the name of the directory where you want to go. So cd DevOps-project. Now you are in the newly created directory. It shows here. The moment you earlier it was showing EC2 user and then IP address. Now it is showing EC2 user IP address and your current directory, DevOps project. So now again you can verify whether you are in the newly created directory or not using pwd command. So pwd, it shows you are in /home/ec2 user/DevOps project. Okay. So now we understood first command, that is pwd. Pwd is to check the current location. Then ls to check the detailed list. ls is to list the files. Then for the detailed list, ls-l, and for the hidden files, ls.-a. Okay. Then we saw mkdir command to create the directory and cd command to go into the directory. Okay. Now we want to check what is inside this directory. Then again ls, and this directory is empty because there is nothing in that directory. Now we will see how to create the file. Now we are in the DevOps project directory. Let me clear it. We are still in the DevOps-project directory. Now we will create one empty file. To create the file, you need to run touch command, touch, and then give the file name tst.txt. Okay, this is the name, test.text. So we are creating one empty text file. Okay, so we used command touch and then file name, so it will create a file. Now if you run ls, and you will see the newly created file. Okay, can you see this newly created file is showing here? Okay, now if you want to create multiple files using the same command, so you use same command touch, then create four, 5 files. Okay, test1.txt, then test2.txt, then test3.txt. Enter. Now ls and l, you will see all these newly created files. Now you can see this was our existing file we created here, and in this command we created test1.txt, test1.txt, test2.txt, test2.txt, and test3.txt, text3. Now I made one mistake here. What I did, I used this comma, so it considered comma as a file name. Okay, so we don't need to give the comma in the touch command. Touch test1, test2, test3, test4. and it will create. Okay, now you can see I have not given comma. So test 1 is created, 2 is created, 3 is created, 4 is created. Okay, so use touch command to create one single file, and you can also use the touch command to create multiple files. But this command, you are creating empty files. Now, next command we will see is the command to view the file. Now, cat is the command to view the file. So test1 is the file name. So use cat and then test1 file name, command and file name, cat. There is nothing because it's empty. Okay, now what we need to do, we have created one empty file and we used cat command to read the file, what is inside the file, but there is nothing. Now how you can add something in the file? Use command echo command, and then welcome to DevOps file management in Tech Mastery with Raj. Okay, so echo command is to okay, echo command and then tech mastery with Raj. So this text will be added into the file, but we need to give the file name. So file name is test.txt. So what I have done, I am running echo command and then giving what content I want to add in the file and which file. So enter. Now let's see the file again. We have added in the test.txt, and now you can see this file has this data. Welcome to DevOps file management in Tech Mastery with Raj. So this is how you can create empty file using touch command. And if you want to add something in the file, use echo to add text into the file, and then use cat command to read the file. Now if you want to add one more line in the same file, so use echo. Or if you want to add, okay, let's try one more file, echo welcome to file 2. Okay, and then we will give another file name, that is test1.txt. Okay, and now we will run test welcome to file 2. So we have updated 2 files using the echo command, echo, then text and the file name. Okay, so we have seen these 3 commands, read and write files. Now next command we will see to copy file. So copy file, what command is required? cp is the command to copy file. So what we will do, test1.txt was the file we have earlier updated. Now this data we will transfer to another file which is not updated. So we will give the transfer this data, copy this data to test2 data. Okay, and enter. Now read test2.txt, and you can see the data which we had added in the test1 file now has been transferred or copied to the test2. Okay, so this is how you copy the file. Okay, now next command we will see to rename file or move file. Okay, so what we can do, we have test2 file, right? So use command mv to rename file, mv test2.txt. okay, so this file we are renaming. So what we need to do, we need to use mv test2.txt and then give the rename text. So whatever, suppose test123.txt. Okay. So this command is run. Now we can see ls test2.txt is not exist. See, test2.txt is not exist. This is test2.txt is not exist here, and this new file is created test123. So that's how we have renamed this. Now we can see what is inside that test123.txt. So the data which we had copied from test1 to test2 has been now test2 has been renamed to test123. That data is also showing in the test123. Welcome to file 2, right? So now we have seen mv command, which is to rename the file. Same command we can use to move the file. So if you have file in your one directory, you want to move it from this directory to another directory, use the same command to move the file. Now we will see delete file command. So to delete, what command is required? rm is the command. Remove file. Okay. So remove is the command rm. Now you need to give the file name. So test123.txt. Okay. test123.txt is the file we are deleting using rm command. Okay. Enter. Now file has been deleted. If you run ls again, you won't see test123 over there. See, test123 is not there. In the previous output, test123 was exist here, but now this file is not exist. So that's how using rm command we have deleted the test123 file. Now if you want to delete the folder, okay, so what do you need to do? Delete the folder. So let's create one folder inside our folder first. mkdir del folder. We will give the name to del folder. Now you want to delete the folder. So what you do? You use the same command rm r and del. Okay, let's check whether the folder was created or not first. ls l. So you can see del folder is created. cd del folder. You are in del folder now. pwd, you are in del folder. Now you came back to your user directory. Now go back to ec2 cd, and where you want to go, DevOps dot project. Now you are in DevOps dot project folder, and you want to delete the del folder using rm dash r and del folder, and the del folder has been deleted. Now if you run ls, now see this del folder was exist here. Now this folder has been deleted. Okay, using rm command. Okay, next is, now let's connect everything in the DevOps. So whatever commands we have seen today, we will connect all those in the DevOps. So touch command is to create the file, but it creates empty file. So you can use this command to create the configuration file. Now mkdir command is to create the directory, which you can use to structured pipelines, right? Then you have cp command, which is copy. So you can use it to back up the configuration files. Then mv command, mv is to move. You can use for deployment handling. Then there is a rm command. Rm is to delete, clean up old builds or something, those kind of activities, you use this command. And then there is a cat command used to see the logs. Okay, what is inside the file? If you want to see what is inside the file, use cat command. Okay, so if there is a log file, you can use cat command to see the log. Okay, now we will just do the revision of our today's command before closing the session. Okay, so first we checked all the directories. So in the directories, we saw home directory, etc directory. Home directory is for the user profiles, users personal space. /etc directory contains all the configuration files. Var directory is for the variables, var dash log is for the logs, then there is a slash bin directory for the commands, then slash usr for the installed software and tools, slash opt for the third party software installation, and main is root directory is the home directory for the root user, that is admin. After that, what commands we have seen today? Let's note down the commands. Okay, so which commands we have seen today? First, we saw the pwd command, that is to pwd is command to check the current location. Okay, I'm just making these notes so it will be easy for you. If you want, you can note it down as well. Okay, so first command is pwd to check the current location. Next command is ls, is for the list files in the folder. Then next is ls slash dash l is to detailed list. Okay, next command is ls dash a is for the hidden files. Okay, these commands we saw in the first section for the files. Next command we saw is the mkdir. Mkdir is for the create directory. Okay, then we saw cd command, so change directory. Okay, so we saw mkdir command, cd command, change directory. Then next section was for file creation. File creation, to create empty file, use touch command, right? Then you used once you created a file, you used to view the file, you used cat command. Cat file name is to see the read the file. Okay, read file. Next command, sorry, this, let me remove this dot. Okay, the next command was to echo text addition in file, and then file name was to update or write file. Okay, and then again we used cat command to see the data. Okay, after that we saw commands to rename. Okay, what was the command? Mv is move. Mv command is for renaming file or moving. Okay, so file 1 and then file 2, so it is for rename file or move file. Okay, mv command. After that which command we have seen? We have seen rm command. Rm, that is to file 1 to delete file. Rm to delete file. Okay, and then if you want to delete the directory, rm dash r and directory, delete directory. Okay, rm r is to delete the directory. Okay, so we have seen these commands. Okay, so what you can do, you can log into Linux system and practice these commands so that you will understand, and if you want, you can make the notes also. So okay, so today what we have learned directory structure, we have learned file management commands, we have learned how these commands can be used in the real DevOps work. Okay, so in the next video we will learn Linux file permissions. This is very important because security is the critical in real systems. Okay, so if you are learning DevOps from scratch, please request you to like this video, subscribe to Tech Mastery with Raj, stay consistent with the series. And what I am planning to make regular videos in a structured format. So every video I will cover at least 2 to 3 important concepts which are very important for the DevOps work. Okay, and I'm planning to release my video every alternate day. So please regularly check my channel. So for that, you can subscribe the channel so you will get the notification. Click on the bell icon, like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. We are building a beginner to advanced content for the DevOps engineers and cloud engineers. Okay, so see you in the next video. Thank you.